Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 84 of crossbuttonvr, our journey into the world of VR. I am your host, Laurie, and it is an honor to be joined by two of the cheekiest scamps in the metaverse. It's Alex and Reece. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You are quite cheeky, especially you, Reece.
We can be, can't we? Feel it was
Yeah,
silly at times.
cheeky.
Yeah. Do you feel like, Alex, Reece is your new podcast husband, or is that still Ben?
Well, I think it's still being. Sorry.
Do you have quite the romance going on there? Quite the bromance.
I'm his VR husband. That's pretty much it.
VR
Yeah,
husband.
well, yeah. I'm sure Ben wasn't thinking about that role.
I don't think he ever had that role, did he?
No.
Nah.
He tried, bless him. But
Yeah.
bless him. Well,
He's
if you miss Ben, you can check out Ben and Alex and Lewis on the Mimics Fail every Tuesday. No, that's us. Every Thursday.
We're
One
every
big-
Tuesday. They're
one
every
big-
Thursday.
Oh, they're both the days begin with T. I can't remember. It's too many things to remember.
Laurie's getting old.
I'm getting old, and it's just so good. Logistics. There's so much to remember as it is. Just like what day I'm doing what. So yeah, Thursday for the fucking Mimics Fail. All right, just get it. Listen to. Stop complaining. You can hear them all talking about how much they're not really that fast on the Plucky Squire this week.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Shame to hear. I was expecting good things of that game. Never mind.
I won't
But
check
we're
it
not
out now.
here. We're not here to talk about flat games. We don't care about those. We want VR
Yeah.
games. We like VR. R.
Immersive.
I say V. You say R. V.
Oh.
There we go. That works.
Yay! We did something.
Well, if that hasn't convinced you to support us and give us a sub, nothing will. So if you're watching us on YouTube, do hit that sub button now, because it's not going to get any better than that. We've topped that now. So you can find us on Twitter also at crossbuttonvr. Well, we have a packed show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A packed show. We have got an interview coming up with none other than Zander Dejah. Yeah, Dejah from Meatspace Interactive, the developer of Vendetta Forever, which is an upcoming game coming to PSVR2 and Quest and probably PSVR. I don't know, I imagine. But it's coming soon, whenever it's coming to. And so you've got that looking forward to. Alex and Reece were good enough to interview Zander a short while ago. And so that interview is coming up. Any good bits of any exclusives you got in that interview, guys, to look forward to hang around to the end of the episode?
Not so much. Well, there are some exclusive, but he's a very interesting character in terms of his repertoire and his resume.
Yeah. What he's worked on and things like
What he's
that.
worked on is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear about that?
Well, yes, people can look forward to listening to you guys get into all of that. But first, let's have a little chat about what's been going on this week in the world of VR. Because that's after all what we're here for. And first up, we have, let's go with the Metro Awakening, because it just popped up out of nowhere, a big gameplay deep dive on the PlayStation blog. And gosh, it's looking fantastic, right?
Yep.
Even though giant spiders, hey Reece?
We're not talking about those. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the game, the gameplay, and ignore that the spiders exist and hope that there's an arachnophobia mode.
I
Yeah, it's looking...
I doubt it too, but yeah.
So people who haven't seen it, because we've had a few trailers till now, and they've been very brief, shortcut trailers. But this is about 6 minutes long of just pure gameplay, and it looks mighty fine. You can see a lot of the game, the mechanics. You've got some stealth sneaking around. You've got some shooty. You've got some interactive bits. You've got some funny lightning bolt electrical machine thing that you're trying to work, which I guess is something from the main games that they've brought across.
Yes.
I've never played the Metro games, but I understand they've done a good job here of recreating a lot of the mechanics and the gadgets and the things that you use in the main Metro games into VR, which is very cool for fans of the series that can experience all those things in VR.
Yep. Very, very much looking forward to just you call it the electric thing, but the thing you use to power on systems and electric boxes and your torch and all that kind of stuff. I'm just hoping that's all kind of like timed where you have to do it yourself. I know it looks like it is, so I'm hoping it's just going to be all very much 100% VR, no clicking buttons here and there. I want to have full control throughout.
Yeah, I just love the fact that you're sort of creeping through these tunnels, and you can pick up a bottle, and then you've got your gun in one hand and your bottle in the other hand, and you can. And in the clip they show, you obviously go for a very stealthy approach. And if I was watching, thinking if that was me, I would just be like shooting everyone, just like quick. But no, they sneak up and they're very stealthily. They like whack some guy around the back of the head with a bottle and knock him clean out, and then someone else they just bludgeon with the back of their pistol and knock him out. So it's nice to know you can go through and be quite stealthy. And there's other bits in the trailer where you're being attacked by these monsters that are just coming at you, and so it's all a bit more frantic and probably terrifying. And those are the bits I'm probably not going to enjoy that much. But it looks like the sort of AAA high fidelity sort of thing that the PlayStation desperately need, or Sony desperately need for PSVR2.
Yeah, I think it's going to do very well.
I do
Yeah.
too.
And obviously that's coming on November the 7th, which is the same day as the PS5 Pro. So we don't know yet. They've not confirmed if there's going to be a PS5 Pro enhancement patch, but I'd be very surprised if there wasn't one.
Who
We'll see.
knows? We'll
We'll
wait
see.
and see.
But even if there isn't one, it's going to look smashing. And not only does it look very good on PSVR2, it also looks very good on Quest, because they have also shown today, as we're recording this, some extra footage of it running the same scene, the same section running on Quest 3. I guess.
Yeah.
And it also looks very fine.
I was very impressed with that gameplay. Like when I was just watching it. I mean, obviously it looks great, but then you got a question is how does it run on the frame rate and things like that. So I'd be interested to hear what frame rate it's running at and how smooth it is with everything going on, especially when you get attacked by multiple things. But again, frame rate is something you can patch in, maybe lower some of the graphic quality if you wanted to. But yeah, either way, I mean, it looks really good on the Quest, and it just constantly shows you that, because I know a lot of people say, the Quest isn't capable of putting out great graphics, but it just proves to you that when a team knows what they're doing and knows what they want to achieve, you can put out really good looking stuff on the Quest.
Yeah, you can. If you look at the two sections, you can see the difference. I mean, considering what it's running on, it still looks remarkable. It's like when they used to port games to the Switch, like when you see The Witcher running on the Switch, and like they have to really compromise it to get it running. It's not like that. As I say, you can see a difference, but it's not a huge difference. Considering, I didn't realize it's coming to Quest 2 later. They're gonna get to work after this to release on a Quest 2, which is gonna have very downgraded graphics, obviously. But that's a bit. Like, yeah. Does you sure you need to do that? Like,
don't do that. Just leave it.
Compromises too far. Is it going to end up being like a Hitman 3 situation where it's just like, just if you can't do it, don't almost just a bad game.
They shouldn't do that. I think that's
a bad
idea.
Reece, so don't think about me.
Well, they shouldn't. Okay, all right, they shouldn't.
Okay, well, you tell them. But this is got to be the biggest thing. And Sony obviously know it's the biggest thing on the horizon because they've been putting in all their state of plays for a while now, and it's the big holiday game for PSVR2.
Well, it's another big named IP coming to VR, isn't it? I mean, we've not really had many of those, like big.
Certainly not on PSVR2.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously you've got Half-Life Alyx, which is obviously connected to Half-Life. You've got Horizon, but I mean, not everyone enjoyed Horizon. I know there's a few mixed bag people. But yeah, and obviously you've got Metro. It's only ever really big name ones. When you've got Batman come in. That's again, it's these big name titles are the ones that have been.
Assassin's Creed and Batman on Quest.
Oh yeah, I did forget about Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Get Hitman come in.
Yeah, we've got Hitman again.
Just Dance.
The third attempt, fourth attempt now. Is it the third attempt? Fourth? Another attempt at Hitman. So it's always interesting when they bring these big named IPs across to VR, and I'm always interested to see how they perform.
Yeah, we get all these first-person shooters in VR, and why no one is going to Sony and say, "Look, would you want us to make a Killzone VR game?" Whilst we'll just give us the assets. We've got the engine. We've got a really good game here. Give us the assets, and we'll just give it a Killzone theme.
I'm pretty sure Jimmy's already wrote like a whole story that he.
Oh yeah, he's got like himself.
He's got like a picture or something for a Killzone VR. So
yeah, that's
he'll tell you something.
Yeah, it's criminal how that
We'll
franchise
go make it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, come on, we ain't got much on.
I don't know what that thing does.
Metro anyway, I think it's good to get a good look at it anyway. Next up, we have a new game that was revealed. It was teased a few days before, but Starship Troopers Continuum. It's a shit name, isn't it? Continuum. Just for Starship Troopers VR. Anyway, that was revealed. It's coming on the 17th of October to Quest 2 and 3, and then on the 31st of October, so Halloween for PSVR 2. Yeah, it looks shit. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty shit.
Wow, he jumped straight in.
Sorry,
right off.
Sorry, but you can see, this has got a car crash through it.
So what was so upsetting is like you saw that trailer with obviously Rico, obviously reprising his role,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my, Starship Troopers VR. They're cashing in on that hype around Helldivers. You know, there's been some other games that have tried this in VR, but you haven't got this IP. And I was like, hey, this is gonna be awesome. And then when I watched that trailer, I was like, where's the gameplay? What is this? And I mean, yes, the reloading of the gun looked pretty cool, but again, is that a button press reload? And after the last XR
So
game, I'm like,
it's a co-op shooter, and it's by Sony Pictures, and I'm like, this is going to be like Ghostbusters, but not as
I
good.
mean, it's published by Sony Pictures, you mean?
Well, yeah, but it's the same. It just seems very similar in like, right, we've got this film IP, make us a game with this, please. And they probably pitched it. It's like, well, we could do this with it. And they're like, yeah, fine, whatever, just get it made. And the Ghostbusters, it's like, yeah, you're going and constantly going on raids. And the fact it's a co-op multiplayer thing, I think you'll just join a lobby, you'll just jump onto the planet, a bit like Helldivers, I guess, and you'll just have to shoot loads of waves of bugs, and then you'll be successful, and you'll go back to your base, and then you just get some cash to spend, and just keep doing it all again.
So it's fun.
I suspect what it's going to be. I mean, if they get the core gameplay of shooting bugs and they explode in a very kind of over the top, silly, funny way, then maybe. But
it's also the volume of bugs on the screen as well, isn't it? Well, on the game, like the amount that you're seeing. Because I mean, if you're just getting 2 or 3 bugs coming in here at once, you're not going to get excited about that, are you? It's not going to feel like Starship Troopers. It's just going to feel like Guardians Frontline that's on the quest, because you're going to want that over the top, the amount of them coming towards you. You know, it's well, yeah. I mean,
we're all getting a bit older now. We don't need that level of stress.
Why didn't they get the devs that did Farpoint? I mean, come on.
Again, yeah, Farpoint. Just Farpoint. They could have been making that game. They could have just said to Sony Pictures, apparently, God, do you want us to just, whilst we're here, should we just make this Starship Troopers game? Because we're 90% of the way there already, and people would take a bit more notice of it then. So yeah, all right, fuck it, go on then. Here's the keys to the cupboard where we keep Rico and all the stuff. Yeah, go for it.
We should keep him locked in there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's in a bit of bad taste as well, and I think it's sullied straight out of the gate just simply because Hitman 3 Reloaded came out from XR, then they're developing this, and then it's kind of like I think straight away people are like, well, 1 minute, what's happening with Hitman 3 Reloaded? You said you're going to be working on updates for that, and then people are like, was this going to suffer the same fate? And it's that big question. Obviously, I'm assuming they're broken into different divisions or teams when they're making these games. I mean, I doubt all of them are working on one game, or all of them are splitting themselves apart, working on the same games. But yes, I'll be optimistic. It has a very cheap price tag. I mean, it's like 15 quid. So,
which also tells you there's probably not going to be a huge amount to it.
Yeah, probably. That's probably telling us something, isn't it? But yeah, I'll try it. I will. I'm sure I'll be the one to try that one.
No,
I mean,
try it.
You're going to rope me into it. So I mean,
oh yeah, I'll rope you into it eventually. But Alex, we should play it straight away, and I'll just wait for Alex to inevitably go, this is pish, which is it's instant. I'm getting off this game. I ain't sticking around. I ain't letting you go in anymore. We're not going any further. I'm coming off this. As soon as he says pish, it's the end of that game.
It's pish.
Yeah. No, this kind of links to our next story then. The XR Games also announced this week, or their staff announced this week, that they've been told they're at risk of redundancy, and there's 72 of them. And we don't know how many people they've got. Just on a gamesindustry.biz site, it says on their LinkedIn profile, XR Games say they employ 50 to 200 people. I saw someone quoting that they've got 84 employees in total. So somewhere in the kind of probably 100 to 200 mark, and they're laying off 72 of them. And as you say, Reece, they've just released Hitman 3, didn't land well, and they said it's all right. We're gonna bring it up to they did the statement that we keep getting a lot of, and now they're making Starship Troopers, and and they're also laying off a huge chunk of their staff. And Starship Troopers is obviously going to be like an online live service game. It's like, it's just what future is this game got in terms of the commitment and the studio? If they're doing a massive restructuring of the studio, and as you say, they might have the Starship Troopers, that might be a small team. They're just focusing all their people on that, and everyone else is being let go. Maybe they're keeping a small few team just to keep Hitman 3, but it doesn't.
But then you've still got Zombie, not Zombie Land,
Zombie
Army.
Army.
Yeah, you've still got Zombie Army coming as well. Like it's almost like they've been given all these big IPs of games or movies, and they've just kind of rushed them all out. Like they're all coming out within the same year now. Starship Troopers, you've got Zombie Army. I'm assuming still going to come out this year. And then you've obviously had Hitman 3 Reloaded. And I mean, we're all kind of bouncing off the back of how much we love Zombieland, and that's why we've jumped into their next games. But if you're constantly going to keep playing their next one, then that's going to be worse. And then you're like, well, is there a point of this anymore? And yes, it's a risk with live service games if they've already made 72 staff go. And I think there was another post that somebody put out, which was actually one of the staff members that said, this feels more than just a restructuring. This is not a normal restructuring. Because that's what they've worded it as, which, I mean, if you're restructuring, you're not really going to get rid of 72 members of staff, because clearly there must be some people there that have done really good work for that team. But I don't know. I don't know how their business works. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know what their plans are. So we'll have to see what unfolds.
But then on the other hand, as you say, they're releasing all these games in a short period of time, and then that might be the end of the pipeline. So it might be that they don't actually need the teams they've got in place, and I don't mean that to work out in terms of what's coming next. And that's not to say, what is it, 72 people are put at risk of redundancy. It doesn't mean that 72 people are going to
Exactly. That's
be
true.
made redundant
It is
either.
risk.
So,
yeah. It was, the wording was risk.
Yeah.
I mean, with all these big games they're putting out, it's just, I don't know if people have been saying, or they're just going to put all these out and then that's it, that's the end of them, or they're just going to close down. And it is a shame. It's always a shame when you see redundancies or anything happen.
Sure.
You have got some people online being a bit dickish about it, and I've seen some really harsh comments. Yes, did they fumble with Hitman Reload? Yes, everyone can agree to that. But do people deserve to lose their job over it, or get to actually fix the product they put out? No, their next thing is to fix the game. That's what they need to do. And other games that have released badly or poor reception have fixed it. So they need that chance. But if the chance is getting taken away, in a sense, so I don't really know what's going to happen, but we'll
don't
see.
know that yet.
Yeah.
Don't forget Zombieland and Jurassic World Aftermath, both really, really good games that were there at the launch of the headset. So yeah, they do make
I
good
still haven't
games.
played Aftermath.
It's a very good one.
I've got it. Played it.
Alien Isolation, but Jurassic World.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'm have to get that installed.
There you go. Well, best of luck to everyone that is at risk of redundancy, and I hope that, I shit on Starship Troopers. I think it looks shit. I hope it's not shit. I hope it is good, because I don't like it when games come out and they're rubbish, because people work hard on this stuff. So all I'm saying is right now, it's not looking good. Let us move on, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
And you've spotted Exo Cars. We've got some updates on Exo Cars, and you were very excited to see it's going to have support for steering wheels, which I kind of I kind of assumed that was a given, right? I didn't really. Of course it does.
It was a given in the sense that it was going to be coming eventually, just not on launch. So it was a given that it was always going to happen, just not straight away.
Okay. Do we know when this one's coming out? Yeah. Does it have a date?
Just said October. They haven't given an actual date yet.
It's been delayed. So it's been. So it's coming out in October on Quest and PC. But because of PlayStation's networking, they need to hold back on releasing it there because there's something to do with the multiplayer servers. So they've had to push it back to early November, I think it is, or just November they stated. But yeah, it has been delayed on PlayStation. Some people were saying, it's because they want to coincide it with the Pro, and nothing in their statement mentions graphics or anything wrong with that. They just mention there's something wrong with the servers, and if they release it in this state at the moment, it won't function online, basically.
Isn't the rule... I don't know if maybe I'm making this up, but isn't it after the Pro comes out, after then every game that's released, it's got to have some sort of Pro mode? Is that what I'm making that up?
I think you're making that up, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the same with the PS4. You didn't have to, there's indie games coming out, nothing. You had to kind of work to the PS4.
Yeah, I guess indie games, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sad it's got a delay, but I'm excited for you, Alex, that you've got another chance to use your wheel that you bought.
Yeah.
I'm going to rock up at Alex's door and just use his steering wheel. I just want to give it a go.
All of you... Hey. All of our audience that have got those whole racing rigs for GT7 will be like, finally, I can race these little buggies now.
Miles is showing me where he's got his one stored.
Oh,
Miles has hid his one underneath the stairs, so he has to go inside the door.
Full on Harry Potter mode.
Yeah, literally, that's what it's like. So he was saying there he had to do that because he couldn't fit in his play area anymore, and he was showing it. I was just laughing.
Yeah,
so
cool,
interesting.
Next up, we've got PSVR2 is now one of the top 10 most used headsets for PSVR players.
Not really
Um,
surprising, is it?
Well, yeah, I thought is that news, but Reece assures me that it is quite a big deal because
I mean,
if you include Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest 4, Quest Pro, all these different quests, they're like far off the list. So,
Quest 2 is still the leader, and I think that will be the case for a long period of time. I think the Quest 3 is on the list, but I think why it's news, I think why it's quite good is because I think there was like a number of it being at least, was it 50,000 something people that are using this on PC or something along them lines. There was some calculations, and it was, and I think that's quite good for the headset, just to simply know that a lot of people have opted to get this to use on PSVR2. And I mean, you could always question if they did this from the start, will they sold out? Would have it performed a lot better? I mean, everybody got a great deal on it, didn't they? But no, it is good news. I mean, for myself and Alex, I know Alex tried it. And did you try the PSVR2, or did you
I got as far as spinning the controllers.
Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, I tried it. I did my review. I did the stream that we did here, discussed it on here. And then after that, I went back to play a game on the PSVR2 and then realised I had to repair them back to the PC, and just, I ended up giving up a bit, and now I just went back to using the Quest. And that's not because it wasn't great on the PC. It was just found the Quest more convenient. It is a more convenient device. But no, it's a great headset to use on PC, and I just thought it was a good bit of news. Something, nice bit of optimism, nice happy news for PSVR2 fans. That, everyone says, "Oh, the PSVR2 is dead." It's not. There's tons of people using it on Steam right now.
It's having a resurgence.
Yeah, it's not dead. It's being resuscitated.
fair enough. Well, let's move on to much more exciting news, and that's Britney Spears is coming to Beat Saber.
Go on, Alex.
So you can hit her baby one more time. Come on, you can
say Britney bitches.
You can do better than that.
Bitch.
There you go. Yeah, that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I can see that one doing quite well.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're gonna get it then.
Get my Britney on. Oh yeah.
You don't just buy tracks, do you? Get the whole pack.
Hit it back.
The whole pack. Cool. Well, don't really know what else you
Get
can
my
say about
school
that.
uniform on. Happy.
No, you're gonna do the whole Britney cosplay.
Yeah.
What about your red catsuit? You could put that on again.
Put that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, I did it again.
Taste of your lips, someone.
That's toxic. I don't know what she wears.
That's
Toxic.
red cats. Oh no, oops, I did it again. Is it red cats?
Oops, I did it again. Yeah. Yeah.
Losing in my Britney knowledge.
Yeah. Wow.
Takes us back to youth, Laurie, doesn't it?
What the fuck is going on?
Watching MTV when Britney came on the red catsuit, that was stop what you're doing and watch this for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anyway.
We're older than Yuri's.
I mean, I know Britney Spears is, and yes, I used to.
Do you know what MTV is, Reece?
Yes, I know what MTV is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you
Total Quest Live. TRL.
Don't remember
No.
TRL. No.
Do you remember Donna Air? No.
Nah.
Do you remember Donna Air, Laurie?
I don't know what you're talking about now. Oh, the presenter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. There's some Scottish thing you're saying there. What?
No.
Donna Air.
And the road from him.
Okay. Where were we?
I think it'll.
Okay.
I was going to say, I think the music will translate really well onto Beat Saber. So yeah, I will give it a go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will. I've got a lot of the Beat
He's
Saber.
got a school uniform, is it?
I've got my old school tie somewhere.
I've got, mate.
I would pay money to see that.
No,
We'll create a Patreon. We'll create a paid Patreon tier just for that.
Okay, cool. We'll do that then, yeah. And then we get like 20 people doing that. Then I will do a stream wearing a schoolgirl outfit while playing Beat Saber.
Well,
yeah.
If that doesn't encourage you to sub, nothing will. One day I might pick up Beat Saber, but not today. A game which I would like to pick up is Subside, and it's out. I think it's about to launch on PSVR, and the dev has been talking to people on Twitter. He's been replying to people. He's saying he's aiming to release. Is it out now? Okay, I knew it was in early access, but it's now.
It's still in early access yet, but it's out. You can buy it.
Anyway, he's been replying to people on Twitter saying he's aiming for PSVR2 at the end of the year, and he's also got a pro version update as well. Because he's saying, I just saw some conversations having with someone where he had to dial down some of the graphics to get it running on PSVR2. With the Pro, he's hoping to be able to switch them back on again. It still looks amazing. It looks cool. Is there much of a game to this, or is it just more of a experience?
Yes,
a simulator thing?
there's a bit of the game to it. It is majority of the time just a water simulator thing. You're exploring around, but the whole concept is if you explore these different simulations, as they were, you start off in one area and you select a simulation, it takes you there. And then you find different things in the area, such as keys to open chests, different little challenges in the area. I say challenges, they're not really challenges, they're kind of like just little things you can do. And that's pretty much it. And in each chest you find different gear, and you kind of progress on to a different level. I mean, I've only played the demo, I've not played the full release or the early access release on Steam. I'd love to, because the demo literally just, I was absolutely gobsmacked with just how it looked. I was lost for words when I loaded it up. It's one of them games that will take your breath away the first time you play it. It's phenomenal.
Take my breath away.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Or
it's
you
going to be
could
like a
sing.
No Man's Sky. I was waiting for Alex, but he didn't do it. I was wondering if it's going to be like a No Man's Sky situation where the game comes out and then he spends like the rest of his life just keep adding updates to it, make it more and more complex and more systems and more, and it becomes this like epic story and all this kind of stuff. It becomes Dave the Diver, but in photorealistic graphics. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, photorealistic graphics is definitely where it is. I mean, I'd say it's probably one of the best looking VR games I've played.
Yeah.
When you see the lighting come through the water, that's what takes your breath away. That right there. Not because you're underwater and suffocating. Yeah, there you go. Gave Alex another chance there. Right. Continue. Subside.
Okay.
It's great.
Spooky game, but now officially spooky season. And is this an exclusive? I don't know. But Hunt Together is a PvP spooky game that's coming out on PSVR2. So I think it's already on Quest or PSVR or somewhere else.
Quest.
But it's, and yes, there's a PSVR2 port that has been revealed unofficially.
It seems as far as I'm aware, it's unofficially. So I have spoke to the studio,
and they said,
coming. Yeah, they did work like that. What they said to me is, "How do you know this?"
You say, "Have you been going through our bins again?" For fuck's sake, we've told you before.
Found. Right now, so I spoke to him just to kind of find out, when's it potentially coming, just so we could talk a little bit about it. And they were more shocked about how I knew that it was coming. But apparently, that game, Hunt Together, and Crimen were both processed in certification on Sony. Obviously, Crimen has just released, and that was it. They didn't give no further information whether Hunt Together has passed it or what's going on. But yeah, I'm assuming it's coming.
Is it?
I think that's how I ended the chat with you. I was like, so it's coming to PSVR2 then, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it? Have you played it on Quest?
I haven't. I've been intrigued by it because I think it's quite a cool concept. But I've also noticed that some other games have now opted to do this style of game on Quest. I mean, you've got that other one that was announced in the Indian Friends showcase, and then I think there's another horror one that's come out where you kind of
the screamy one.
The Scream one. There's other games that have done a similar type of concept now. So I think, if being the operative word here, is coming to PSVR2, it's a great thing for it to be doing because obviously we don't have anything like that on PSVR2. You now have multiple games like that on Quest. But it's something I've been interested in. I think it'd be quite fun with friends.
Very cool. The final bit of news then is Human Falls Flat has got a release date also on the 31st of October. It's a busy day that day.
Yeah.
You'll be playing Starship Troopers and Human Falls Flat and The Wanderer, which is what I'm going to be playing on that day.
Oh, mate, we all know what we're going to be playing that day. Come on. What? Out of them three games, what do you think we're playing out of them three games? Come on.
Well, I'm playing Wanderer.
Obviously, we're all going to be jumping in that. I mean, that looks absolutely fucking amazing.
I'm going to take a tea.
Well, yeah, there'll be that actually. Yeah, I'll be dragged around.
I would not. I'll be playing VR games because I'm sad. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, no, trick or treating, big deal. Big deal.
Give out Monster up here, you'll be fine.
Don't drink that stuff no more.
Human Falls Flat, though. Human Falls Flat. Yeah, we've talked about it before. Alex, you played this?
Yeah.
No? You have. Okay. Yeah, cool. There you go. I'm sure we'll play that on VR at some point, even if it's not on 31st October. And we'll talk about that one soon. What have we been playing, gang? Reece, why don't you start off? That's what we've been playing.
I've been playing Encircled.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, it's a tower defense style game, or I think they word it as wave shooter on the store. But it kind of works similar to them, a balloon tower defense game where, it starts from one end, they kind of work their way to your base or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Although it doesn't
Bloons
really
TD6. Yeah,
yeah,
my son, he loves Bloons TD6. And I'm like, what on earth? What on earth is this game that you're so? I can't
No idea
understand
what you're
why.
talking about.
You
It's
never
a-
played
yeah, it's a-
Balloons?
Balloons, isn't it? You. You sounded so Essex there, Reece. You didn't play balloons. Oh Christ!
Right, in
Shut
honour
up.
of that. In honour of that. Yeah, so basically what it is with this game, the whole time what you have to do is you start from one end and you put down your troopers, or in this game they're basically woodland critters, which starts up, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it goes to mech robots, and I feel like somebody got a little bit lost when designing the characters and just went, "Hit, let's do anything." So yeah, it's a bit odd with the defenses that you put down, but you can upgrade them all. And then you can also shoot yourself. You have kind of like these two little all hands. One of them is to kind of manage your play area, and the other one's to attack, which you have a cooldown effect on your weapon. And it's pretty much just that. And you have like 20 waves per level, and I think it goes on for like 15 minutes per level. And you can choose difficulties of what one you want to do. But its core, its gameplay mechanic of what it is, it does it fine. But then the issues that it has is it's just not very gripping. Like the whole time I was doing the first wave, I was like, can this be over? And I just progressed to the next one. And I felt like it went on for too long. I felt like the wave should be shortened because I kind of wanted to progress to the next one and see what the other levels look like and so on and so forth. And also I just didn't really enjoy being in there for 20 odd waves. So at its core of being a tower defense shooter, it works, it plays fine. But there's a lot that could be done to really improve this title. I mean, graphics being one of them. I believe this is a game that was out on Quest. Alex will correct me if I'm wrong. I know I'm pretty sure we mentioned this before. There you go. He's nodded.
I'm sure it was.
It was on Quest. So, yeah, I think they could do more for it, and I hope they do. But we'll just have to see. It's not played enough to kind of rate it. I will play some more. Weirdly enough, I have been wanting to go back and play it. It's one of the games where I think if I do go back and play it, I'll do one level and then come out of it and play it again and space it out that way. It does have a platinum for any trophy hunters out there, so if you do want to go get a platinum trophy, you can try to do that. But it's very grindy, like get 10,000 kills, get 15,000 kills, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're going to be in this for a long time.
Will I?
No, you won't.
Well, yeah, you
trophy
trophy hunters,
hunters
though.
might, yeah.
Knock yourselves out.
Exactly.
Well, that's Encircled. Well, let us know once you are ready to give it a stamp of approval or not.
Certainly.
We need to
Where's
know.
the circled background?
Oh, good one there.
That's why they pay him the big bucks. Well, my what I've been playing is not very exciting. It is well, it's exciting for me. I've just been playing more Max Mustard. I don't want to play anything else, frankly. I just want to keep playing Max Mustard. I know you've finished it. You platinumed it before it even come out, didn't you, Reece? Talking of platinums.
Yes, I platinumed it before it released.
So we know also what you've been playing.
I need to turn to go back on the game and actually register it to the server now. The trophy list has been connected. But yeah, I platinumed it. Loved every minute of it. It's a solid game. It's just really good.
Yeah. I just don't really know. Nothing more to add, really. I'm still loving it. Still think it looks good. Great to see all the great reviews it's got. It's got pretty universal people loving it and praising it and stuff. So it's very cool.
Yeah,
It does really well.
Noticed they actually on the PlayStation rating, it had all 5 stars out of the people that rated it. No one's rated it less than a 5-star. I don't know if that's changed from the point of me saying this, but at the point of we're recording, I think it was like 50 ratings, all 5 stars, which I think is pretty impressive, seeing as they're usually a bit all over the place, aren't they? So I think that says a lot.
Yep, very good. Very fun game. Yeah, so that's it. I don't need to talk about that much more. Alex?
I've always played a lot about the Max Mustard, but what I have been playing is Vendetta Forever. I can't really say too much about that because we are under embargo. But as Laurie mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we do have someone coming up who can tell us a little bit more.
Wow, that sounds like a lovely segue. And let's jump into then our interview with Zander Dejah from Meatspace Interactive, developer of Vendetta Forever.
Zander, thank you very much for joining. It's nice to have you here. Just thought we'd maybe start off a little bit around you and your background, because I know you have done very much based in VR from the beginning. That's fair to say, I think, isn't it? And quite a journey to where you are now.
Yes, definitely. I've been in the industry, I think, since the DK2 back in like 2015, 2016. Even before that with like Google Cardboard and stuff. Yeah, I've always been into making games, and I think it was the Google Cardboard that really my first glimpse into virtual reality, and I was like, damn, this is cool. you can really do stuff here. So it was hard to like find VR jobs back in that time, but I managed to get into a tiny little startup doing random VR stuff, and I was just super hooked since then. So I went on to ILM, Lucasfilm, at X Lab doing the Star Wars games like Vader Immortal, Tales from Galaxy's Edge. We did some location-based stuff. If you've ever heard of the Void, that did like the backpack computers and kind of physical sort of rooms. So I worked on the Avengers damage control experience there and the Wreck-It Ralph one.
Okay.
Nice. Quite
But doing
a background in VR.
Yeah.
I suppose from that perspective, to where you started to where it is today, it must be quite a different space and quite a different industry in terms of very much. I feel at the moment we're just kind of hitting that, but particularly like with Meta coming out in the last few days and announcing the Quest 3S and like trying to get to the mainstream. So where do you think we're at in that kind of journey from your perspective?
It's interesting. It's both awesome that we have so many different platforms, you know, with power from like the PCVR side and PlayStation VR2, all the way down to stuff like, the Quest 1, 2, and 3. I think it's awesome to have such a broad spectrum of choices, and like, good on Meta for getting the price down so absurdly low.
Yeah.
It's great. I think that's truly, they're definitely right on the money there, and that if you want this to become a mass adopted platform, it's got to be accessible and cheap. And now that it's like essentially the same price as a Nintendo Switch, which is the cheapest console, I'm like, this is a great time for it. At the same time, it makes it pretty difficult as a developer when you have to target such a massive range of abilities. So it's a challenge. But I like that the Quest 3S is bumping that up to the Quest 3 sort of processing power. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I suppose from that perspective, and of moving on to Vendetta Forever, obviously developing for so many platforms at once can't be easy. So how have you tackled that? Do you, from a dev perspective, do you focus on one platform and port, or do you try and build it in such a way that, and I'm talking as if I know what I'm talking about here, I'm absolutely not, but just to get an idea of how difficult that is, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, it is extremely difficult, and it requires a lot of, to make it easy on yourself as a dev, it helps to try and be as platform agnostic as possible when setting everything up. So I was definitely targeting Quest 1 and 2 when I started this project ages ago. But I also knew I would, ideally like to play it on PC. I wasn't really thinking about PlayStation VR at the time, but I just went with like an OpenXR backend where it's not specific to Meta. And luckily, Unity has its ups and downs as an engine and a service and all. But I did like how fairly easy it was to say, let's target OpenXR and be able to deploy to pretty much any platform. So that helps a lot. But targeting the Quest 2 especially is the limiting factor, really, because if it doesn't run on Quest 2, and then you're going to have to kind of pull everything back to make it run on that, and that inevitably affects how it's going to look on PCVR and PlayStation. One of the reasons why I went with a very stylized sort of art style is because it can look good on anything. And I'm not a huge fan of super photorealistic graphics on everything, especially in VR. I kind of see something crazy, see something not real. So that helps with that. But
at the same point, you want something real you just walk around, don't you, in real life?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I get enough of that just being alive, so take me somewhere else. But it's a lot of builds all the time, testing on different platforms. My office is just chock full of headsets, so
I always enjoy those developer photos where they show like their previous headsets. It's just like a wall of all these headsets that are just null and void now, and you're like, it's like a graveyard of wires and just plastic. Yeah. So obviously you've mentioned like developing for Quest, PSVR2, and also PCVR. When it comes to PSVR2, you've got the different capabilities, obviously the adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, foveated rendering. How difficult is that to implement into an actual development build when developing the game?
Yeah, it's that part's not too bad. I set everything up to know that there might be platform specific features like that, like the resistive triggers, eye tracking. As soon as Quest Pro came out, I started doing a whole branch of the project that utilized eye tracking, and I thought, oh, this will work for PlayStation as well.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't say it's too technically difficult to support all those things at once, but it's logistically difficult when you're like, okay, if I'm on Quest now, so the whole graphical fidelity has to be at Quest level, and then I might be on Quest Pro, so I might have eye tracking, but I also might be on PSVR, so those parts are shared. But then there's no shadows, there's no real-time shadows for Quest because that'll destroy it, but there is on PlayStation, so it's a lot to just keep in mind. And sometimes I'm just like working on the game, and I'm like, what platform am I on right now?
I don't know where I am anymore. I'm lost.
So yeah, my brain is frazzled 100% of the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can't comprehend it.
I can't either, and I'm still doing it. So
It's all the coffee.
Yeah, that always helps. So I suppose moving on to Vendetta Forever, we have played demo and we've had the pleasure of doing that. Obviously, we Quest, we have access to Quest, but we are a predominantly PSVR2 podcast. So I suppose for our audience, can you want to give their elevator pitch for Vendetta Forever, kind of a little bit of background to it and the premise of it?
Yeah, premise wise, I can't say that there's a cohesive narrative or kind of story to it, because I wanted to make something that was mechanics first. Very much just like, let's make it as fun as possible, which was a bit of a reaction from working on very narrative focused games at Lucasfilm. Vader and Tales were both extremely narrative first, and I was like, okay, sick of that. I want to make something that's the opposite, pure mechanics. Let's make it as fun as we possibly can. So that was kind of the ground up starting point for the game, and I sort of started with the whole locomotion mechanic and thought, what can I do with this?
Yeah.
So taking inspiration from action movies, which I'm a huge cinephile on that, I like, okay, let's take this mechanic and stretch it to its absolute maximum. Like where would this be fun to do? And that's where you end up with essentially a massive set of action scenes that you get to play through, feel like a badass, and just rip and tear to your heart's content.
Good way of putting it.
It is, and it's certainly a lot of fun from what we've played, obviously, and what we can talk about at the minute. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that.
I suppose when you designed it, and obviously we had the competition running during the demo period around who could finish the levels the fastest, and then when you seen some of the times coming up at that point, did that shock you how fast some people were managing to get through these levels?
Yeah, I've played this game more than anyone on the planet, I think, so far. I thought I was pretty damn good, but people are getting like half, a third of my times, like tripling my score. I'm like, how the hell they do this? And I watched some of the gameplay videos. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. I'm also amazed that it didn't break the game, because I did not even think you could do that.
And this is why we learn.
So this is why I make games, is to see, you just create something and push it out into and see what happens. And that's the really interesting part to me.
Yeah, I was definitely amazed with some of the clips I was seeing. I was like, I genuinely thought you had to kill each and every one as you're going ahead. Like, what's this? What is this?
Yeah, I get like stuck in a rut while testing, because I have played the level 100,000 times. So I always end up kind of doing the same thing, because I'm just trying to test. And I get into that stage where I completely forget that you can play any level tons of different ways. So seeing people go through it and do that, I'm like, wow, that's fresh. And I've been playing this level for like 2.5 years. So.
No, it is very unique, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that, of ways people are going to be pushing through these levels in ways you've never seen before. And I think that's also very interesting, not just for yourself, but for everyone else who's going to be playing the game and watching content. based on the game. I think that's going to be quite exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of emergent gameplay, so I tried to allow for that here.
That's good.
And we're big fans of leaderboards, and I think as soon as we see a leaderboard in a game like this, it's like has it hooked straight away. Like we have a good community and we have different challenges each week, and as soon as you can get a leaderboard involved in it, it just brings it to a new level. And I'm so surprised that so many VR games don't have it, and I think it's great to see it in here. And I think it's one of those things that feel just helps elevate a VR game to the next level, because it just brings that level of competitiveness to it.
Yeah, I obsessively check the leaderboards, and every time someone beats my score, I usually play on insane only because normal just doesn't do it for me anymore. But every time someone beats my insane score, I'm like, I go put the headset back on and see if I can't just get back to stuff. But people getting too good, and I can't even claim number one most of the time.
You can't leave it as that. You can't go to bed with somebody else having a higher score than you. You just stay up all night until you beat them. Yeah. Yeah, that's Alex. Every game has a leaderboard usually. One more try. One more try.
Yeah.
Yes. Until you're going to bed and you need to have a shower before you go to bed because you're just covered in sweat, and it's like, that would be, that would definitely be this one. I suppose from the developer side of you, when you see videos like that and you see the different ways that people approach your game that you maybe didn't think of, does that give you ideas on how to change it, improve it, add things in, kind of build it for the future, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. I watch every YouTube video that gets posted of this game, and either I'll notice something where I'm like, oops, I got to fix that, or I think, oh, I should make a whole level that's like focused on doing it this way that they're doing it, which is not something I thought of. Or it's just so easy to take feedback and inspiration and to just make new things, make things better. Sometimes I want to make it harder because I'm like, oh, I didn't realize you could kind of just skip past those guys in the I'm like, should I make it harder? Should I leave it as is? I kind of like it. So, but yeah, my mind goes crazy with ideas every time I watch anything.
Yeah. There's definitely that kind of place of this game to just keep growing with it and bringing more things as and when you see fit. And obviously, like you said, based on feedback, which is always great with VR games. Feedback is one thing that every developer needs it, but I feel like VR, that inspiration when it comes to people talking about it, I feel like a lot of VR developers actually take that on board and go, okay, let's do something with that. So, yeah, hopefully you get a lot of that.
Yeah, and I kind of made this whole game as a platform to just expand, because I'll watch a movie or just play another level in a different way and be like, I got to make a new level, and I'll just keep cranking them out. And it's so easy to just
watch a movie and just base each level off a scene in that film. It's actually a really good idea.
I would love to get some partnership with like Lionsgate and do a John Wick thing.
Awesome. I think that's something a lot of people are going to say straight away when they play the game. Is it just from that first time you see the pencil and you're like, oh,
yeah.
That's all I said was straight away. I was like, it was like that. It was exactly like that.
Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Level would be. I just said, okay, I'm going to start you with a pencil and a guy whose head is in pencil range. Yeah. Go from there.
Well, because I think when I started, I was like, what do I do with this? Like, it was my first thought. What do I do with this? I just jabbed it forward.
Yeah, a lot of people, when I was early testing that, were like, didn't know they could stab, and they were like throwing the pencil at the first guy or just like punching him.
It throws you off, doesn't it? Because you expect to start off with like a gun, and then you see a pencil in your hand, you're like, huh? Okay. And I know what I got to do with this.
Yeah. If you know, you know. And I explicitly didn't want to tell you, hey, stab the guy in the head with a pencil. I'm like, what would you do?
You psycho. What would you do? That's what you should have said on the top.
But I think to have the confidence to come out and start a game like that, because you know how good the mechanic is, I think it's a testament to yourself to come and do that. But I think it just makes it stand out, because you've got these games and you just kind of go in and you stand there with a gun and you're like, oh, we're just shooting. And you know from the get-go here, like, this is something a little bit different. And I think it's really refreshing for me, I think, to go and do it. And I think the whole locomotion mechanic itself, I think people could very easily say, oh, it's a bit like Pistol Whip, it's a bit like that. But it's not. I mean, you
No.
can see inspirations like here and there to it, but it's very much its own thing from my perspective. I think Reece would probably
Yeah, it's
agree
very
with that.
unique.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, it is definitely.
the super hot and pistol whip comparisons have been like pouring in, and I have to go on record and say, like, it was definitely not inspired by either of those.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Was there any inspirations
yes,
other than movies?
there is. Like the graphics were definitely not, I'm gonna say inspired, but like
Super hot.
Run and Pistol would kind of prove to me that you could make a game with those graphics and people won't go, "Bah, it looks like crap." You know, so in that respect, yes, I did really enjoy like just focusing on the information directly in front of you, not adding so much fluff that you're distracted. You want to look at a wall. So I'm like, I love the minimalist aspect of those games, but mechanically,
Yeah, I was going to say that's like with graphics and things like that, or things happening. That's one thing I've always said. I know your game's not a narrative game, but like anytime I played a narrative game, they always have something that's going on at the corner or at the side of your eye, and that distracts you from the narrative. And again, I think that's why I'm a firm believer with like a lot of games. They don't need over the top graphics. They don't need explosions or things flying by your eyes at all times. They just need you to be focused on the thing that's at hand. And like you said, it is the low kill motion. It's what you're killing people basically in this game. And that is your focus, is trying to get that high score or trying to beat the level in any way you want, and having that focus without trying to distract you from loads of different things, big words coming up on screens or anything like that. I think you've done that in a really good way as well, just so people know what their focus is with this game. And I think that's always a great thing to have.
Yeah, I really wanted to let the mechanics shine through. Try to dress it up to be like, oh, look, it's so pretty, but you just press X and that's it. But yeah, going back to where did this kind of inspiration core come from? It's actually from Doom 2016. The first time I played that, I thought, ooh, this is fun. The glory kill mechanic.
Yes, I was about to say. Now you've said it.
Playing through on nightmare difficulty, where you essentially just have to glory kill to glory kill to glory kill, and I'm like, man, I would love a game that's just 100% glory kills, and that's kind of where the seed came from right there.
And now we know why you said rip and tear earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Good man.
If you play through the game with Doom in mind, I think it makes makes more sense, or at least it feels like, oh yeah, okay, rip and tear.
Put on the Doom soundtrack, play the game, heaven. Well, or hell, really. That's actually really cool. And again, like I said, it's very unique. I don't feel like I've seen many games do something like that, especially with like the zipping and having to grab the weapons to zip to each location. I think that's such a cool way it's done. Yeah, I think you've nailed a very unique mechanic there. So definitely props to you.
I'm so glad it comes through, because that's kind of my whole game design philosophy, is like, I want to bring something fresh to the table, because that's, to me, the best part of gaming, is doing something that nobody's done before, experiencing something fresh and new, and being like, oh, this is weird. Is it fun? Maybe. Hopefully.
It's fun to you. Yeah. I mean, if it's fun to you, it's going to be fun to somebody else. And there's such a big user base, especially on Quest, that you're going to find somebody that's going to like those mechanics. So sometimes you just got to take a risk, haven't you?
Yeah. I think without risk, you're going to get the same old hero shooter year after year. So
I think that's the good thing about VR as well at this time as well. And I think we've said it before, it's still kind of in its infancy in a sense, and there's still so much that you can do with the platforms. Obviously, you can take these risks, whereas if it was like developing a game for non-VR, you kind of have to stick into the box of what's already been done before, because if you do take too much of a risk, it's going to just get overshadowed by everything else that's there. So it's definitely a good time for new developers to develop games, actually take a risk on them as well with VR.
Yeah, exactly. And VR is like the best medium to do crazy experimentation in, because you have so much freedom and there's so many inputs. That's what I love, the Xbox controller only goes so far, the buttons it has, and having like 3 separate tracked objects, which all have 6 degrees of freedom, plus some buttons. It's like, oh, okay, you can do so many things with this. So I've got a long list of game ideas.
Ooh.
Well, that maybe takes us on to one of the kind of funner questions that we had for you. So, I mean, you do seem to have had the pleasure of working with a lot of big IPs already, but if you had a blank check available to you, what would be your dream game? What would you go make?
Well, that is a great question, because I actually would probably rather make 10 games than one game. Wow. I'd rather make
I like that.
Yeah, I'd rather make 10 games that each focus on something specific and really do it than one game that is the everything game, like Grand Theft Auto or something. It's like, because those games tend to have such breadth, but fairly shallow actual mechanics in there. And it's like, if I want to play a golf game, I'm not going to be like, well, I'll just go in Grand Theft Auto, drive over to the golf course and play golf in GTA. Like, you can, and their golf, entire minigames pretty competent. But I think I'd rather just play a dedicated golf game. So, yeah, like I said, I got a billion little game ideas, little prototypes. As soon as I think of something fun that could be fun for like 5 minutes, I'll go, well, let me just make it really quick. Before I 2 weeks deep into some prototype that I know I'm never going to ship, but I just want to play it myself. And this game started as one of those like, what if you could teleport around by grabbing weapons out of the air? Like, that would be cool. And it's all spawned from there.
Here we are at this point, and I'm not sure if we have a confirmed date or not. We're a few weeks away from the game coming out. Does it have a confirmed date now? Is it?
Yeah, so yes. October 24th.
24th. Because I knew there was a little bit of fluidity in there, and I just went. So, how do these next few weeks look for you then? Very busy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very busy. Years even. But gearing up for the releases. It's nerve-wracking, exciting, terrifying, all of the above. We're still going through like meta QA right now, so just making sure everything's ship shape. But considering we released a demo, 0 crashes, amazed.
That is good.
Not too many. There's definitely no show-stopping bugs, but the thing's pretty buttoned up. Now we're just trying to get the word out and hope that Batman doesn't completely steamroll our.
We wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah. So
we'll keep chatting about it. We'll get the word out.
Yeah, we'll take all the help we can get.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where the PSVR2 comes into play as well. Does to when you're the luxury of multi-platform, because they're going to be screaming out, or not screaming out, but it's when everyone in Quest is playing Batman, and everyone in PSVR2 can be playing Vendetta Forever.
That's right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and Quest 2, because there's a lot of Quest.
Yeah, of course.
And sorry, Batman, but this is why
sorry, Batman, you can't work there.
Yeah, why you do all that work to make it multi-platform. Yes.
Well, I think thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us, and best of luck for release. I think we're really looking forward to getting to the full game. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it when it gets here, and fingers crossed that it's a success for you, which I'm sure it will
thank
be.
you so much for having me. I'm so excited for everyone to play the game. Please let me know what your favorite level is after. There's a lot to choose from. So
yeah, there certainly is a lot on there.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, what a lovely man, wasn't he?
He was indeed. Very interesting.
Very friendly. Knowledgeable.
Excellent. Well, you can hear our review on the game in a few weeks' time when the embargo's up. I think we'll do a snap for that one as well. So we'll probably put out a special episode just for that, and we'll talk about it in the main show as well. But we'll leave it there for Vendetta Forever, because we don't want to say anything more than we're not allowed to say.
That's true.
And we'll leave it there for today as well. So thanks everyone again for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you could please tell your family and your friends all about us. And if you'd like to get more involved, don't hesitate to jump into our Discord and say hello. Thank you, everyone that's done so already. Now, I've been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.
Au revoir.